Yes, the lounge show. I was asked famously to be the announcer for that show, and at the time I didn't see the vision. Like most people, I underestimated the program and its hosts. Foolishly, of course. Later, I came crawling back on my hands and knees, begging for the job, but force by that time. It had already been given to Latbat, so I had to graciously accept my defeat and learned a valuable lesson.
It's The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle, two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are somehow able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
And Latbat, ladies and gentlemen, lovely and talented booth announcer Tracy. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, which you will never know because our names went away again. I'll never figure it out. It's just going to be the
Nobody noticed.
Everyone notices. I get letters, cards, letters, telegrams.
Keep them coming,
I can't
kids.
hear a word you're saying.
I know. I was trying to give you a little ear thing. So yeah, it's family time here at the Las Vegas Lounge. I have my daughter, her husband, and my grandchildren here. They're hovering about outside. One of them is asleep, so
Yeah.
Cash we will not see.
I was trying to bring him in, but yeah, he literally just passed out.
Wait, Cash or Cruz? Yeah.
Cash.
And so Cruz is out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
so
see
we're going to see if he wants to come in and say hello, be on the show, see what this is all about. And I think Catherine's
This is
in.
Jody and Mr. French. This is a family affair going on here.
That's right. Dun 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 dun. That's obscure.
It is.
Do you know Family Affair?
No.
But see, it was barely my time.
Yeah, but Mike Post wrote the theme song.
No,
so
he
I think,
did not.
no, he didn't. But yeah, I got a giggle.
I
from,
love you, Rob.
Is that all it takes?
Okay, for the rest of the world out there, first of all, hello, and secondly, we had a 7-hour Mike Post conversation one day.
Yes. And that was just the first half.
Dean Hankey is in the house. Dean Hankey is holding a mouse. What if he was? That'd be so crazy.
You lost me on that.
I'm reading. Dean Hankey's here,
Our
as you can
friend
see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look at that. Yes, I didn't even look at the chat board. Shame on me. Shame on me. Shame,
That's right.
shame. Oh, and I also didn't do this, which is
Oh, right.
and now the
And now the regular crowd rushes in.
press is in.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, let's check in on Lake Geneva real quick. Wait, it says buffer cam because it will not fully load. It comes in and then runs for a second and then but there it is. It looks roughly like that and fuzzy. So we got a blur cam and buffer cam going at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Probably
not
dark
good.
there now.
There we go. Now it's,
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
I was just gonna say 8 o'clock.
Right, because
It's
here,
9 o'clock on a Saturday.
because it's 9 here, that means it's
Right.
8 o'clock in Buffering in beautiful downtown and
Bufferville.
Also Bufferville, right?
There's our
Give me-
names.
Yes, so there's our names. That's
Yeah,
right. And
they're
by
back.
the way, because Tracy is an integral part, if not she's got most of the shares in the show anyway. Isn't she the principal share owner of the show? Anyway, I'm telling you both now, how many weeks until we do the combo show? We're all in one gather happy
3?
place.
4
I
weeks.
was kidding.
4
That's
weeks.
close, that's
4 weeks. Yeah, we had to do some math, and we couldn't
Yeah,
do it.
well, the night before the show, and I wrote it down because
I was guessing, but I know it's not.
I-
It's not very far away. I'm very excited.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna go. And also, when I go visit Stephen, I don't know if Bob told you this, Tracy, but we're gonna go to Park City, Utah, which apparently is where the Sundance Film Festival is. The Robert Redford.
Oh, right.
So I'm sure Mike
So-
Post has been there.
Duh. There's a street named after him, I think.
Right.
Post Lane or Post Boulevard or.
So in
Post
4
Place.
weeks, Dean, Rob is making a journey out to Salt Lake to see his son, and then he's coming by here. And so we will be doing the show live in this room for the second time in
Yes.
history.
Right.
And what is it? Maybe the third time in history. Well, did
No,
we
no,
do it
we did-
twice
no,
over
we-
your place?
No,
No,
just once.
we did
Okay,
one
so the third
here,
time in history live
Yeah.
together.
live, and the same place, same time, same bat station. Blah 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 blah.
It's like
Right.
once a year.
Yeah, I think the last time I believe it was October. There were all kinds of wonderful Halloween decorations
Oh, that's
strewn about.
right.
Yes, I would have never remembered that in my drinking days, but now
It's
Now
just,
you
it's
remember.
just all you think
Now
about.
you remember.
Oh, you want to go see
I
if Cruz
do.
wants to play?
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Okay.
by all means, please.
Yeah. Before
I'll be
before
right back.
he could fall
Yeah,
asleep
fall
at any
asleep.
second now. So
Bring me up to
Fine,
bring the
So-
bring the viewers, Bob, up to snuff. This is your oldest daughter, and
yes,
this is her-
yes. And so since they're from Atlanta, then they got in yesterday, and there's a 3-hour time difference. They all got up very, very early. So the kids, they're littles, and so their sleep schedule is whacked, and so they're just falling asleep all over the place. But then they were up at 3:30 this morning. The first little one, Cash, was up at 3:30 because he fell asleep like 4:30 or 5 yesterday evening on the floor, just. And so he had plenty of sleep. So it's a weird schedule.
How
so
old again are the two boys? They're
three, well, it's Cruz is about to be 6 and 3.
It's his golden birthday.
Yeah. So it's 6 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
3. Okay.
Yeah,
because I was
said no
talking to.
thank
he said
he
no,
said,
thank you.
How polite! How polite!
Right. Yeah. He said, I don't want to be on that old man show.
you. No.
When they say kids these days.
Like, I'm good.
These
Okay.
are
Okay.
polite
Well,
young-
he doesn't know what he's missing.
Well, I can tell you this: that it's funny you mentioned that about the
Okay.
traveling and because yes.
Sorry,
yes,
sorry,
please.
sorry. She was uneared again.
I had a friend at work, and her son is 2, 3, somewhere in there, 2 or 3, and the first airplane flight this weekend, and it just came back to me and just waved the whole. Oh my god! And I said, I'm going to be honest, Jess. Her name is Jess. I said, I might not go so good. I'm just saying, prepare for the fact that when their ears pop, they don't know why, and they're looking at you, and you, how do you describe that? And try to yawn and tell them it gets a little messy, and they don't like they're not patient. Young people, hell, I'm not patient, and I'm an old guy. So yeah, she's about to. So God bless your daughter for going across. I'm assuming they flew. Oh, look at the dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're seasoned travelers. They do a lot of they go a lot of places and do a lot of things. So
When was the first time you flew on an airplane?
it was. I think I was in 7th grade.
Okay, what does that make you, like 11? Something like that?
12, something like that. Yeah.
Tracy, how about
Went to
you? When was
Philadelphia.
I was 13.
13. Okay.
Yep.
Do you remember where you went?
Of
where,
course.
Like,
Oh my goodness! No, we went to Orlando to go to Disney World. It was like the only, I want to say, real vacation I had growing up, because it was like we would go from Chicago, right? But we moved to Michigan when I was 6, so all of our vacations really were going back to Chicago to visit family and that kind of thing, right? Going to Wisconsin as well, because my dad was actually from Tomahawk. Or he grew up in Tomahawk. He was from Chicago, so yeah, no, Orlando was a big deal. Like getting on a plane, and oh yeah, totally.
what time of year do you recall? Did you leave winter
It was
to go?
hot. It was summer. It was probably, my mom can correct me, I don't know if they're on or not, but like July, August-y kind of thing. And I remember it being very, very, very warm. It was, yeah, but it was the greatest. I can remember being at the pool, the whole thing.
I have crazy memories about that first trip too, and mine was to New Jersey to visit uncle, like a great aunt and uncle, who that was the one time I ever saw them, that I can recall. And it seems like, I'm very good at conflating things, but I think we did like a whole thing. I think we went to New Jersey and we went to Philadelphia, and I saw the Liberty Bell and Washington D.C. I think I could be combining two different things. Actually, the Washington D.C. I think was with my other set of grandparents, and it was Thanksgiving, and we had to have Thanksgiving at a Morrison's cafeteria, and me and my sister were not about that at all.
That wasn't working for you, huh?
That, that's one of those things where, when your grandparents take you to a thing and you're like, oh, and I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So I just don't go
Yeah,
anywhere, and I'm safe.
Well, but hey, I was going to say something, and now I can't remember what. Doggone it. Doggone. Oh, I know. Tell me about last week. There was no show. We did no show. The lounge was not open. It was closed for repairs. So you two were going where? What did
Was
what
that
did we
really
do?
last weekend, or that was 2 weekends ago?
No, I think that was last weekend. We were
Wow.
home last weekend, but we had come back from
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So we went on a short little 4-day, 5-day
4-day.
cruise from L.A. to
Catalina
Catalina,
Island.
and then to Ensenada, Mexico. And there are, it was interesting because Catalina Island is really like an hour boat ride from L.A. and we weren't going to Catalina till like the third day. So really, the second day was just sitting out in the middle of the ocean doing nothing. And I was like, this doesn't feel like a cruise,
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
because we weren't moving. They literally just had us docked in the middle of the ocean. It was kind of interesting, but
Truly, the fun on the cruise was mostly on the boat.
Yes.
Because it was Amber's first cruise, and this was a real vacation, and it was a fun dynamic. We realized that it would be way more fun for Amber if she had a friend with, and like if we had a couple that we could tolerate for 4 days on a boat, that would be fun. It would be a different kind of fun, but nobody was bummed, and the weather was good. There were nice slides. There was plenty of good food.
yeah, the food was amazing. The views, I mean, it was just gorgeous. Even when we were just docked in the middle of the ocean.
The best part, honestly, for me was when we left Mexico the last day, and we're like, the boat is really moving, and not just sitting there, and you're seeing the land go by, and there was the wind blowing, and you go, okay, and there's whales or whatever out there, right?
Oh my gosh!
Like tons of these things shooting, and so like, okay, this 20 minutes is
Was
why I'm
amazing,
here.
yeah.
And I just
Okay.
sat out there and sat on the balcony of our room. There's like that's all you could see right there. But
Sounds fancy.
Yeah,
it was
great.
nice. Well, I mean, it wasn't.
I've never been on a cruise in my life, so I have no idea.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, never.
It's a big freaking mall. It's I mean, it's a
It's
mall
like
and
riding
hotel
a mall. There's no question about it.
with lots
I've
of.
seen the commercials and the footage, and I know what they're doing with these ships now. And I mean, it is a moving city, right? I mean,
Yes.
it is,
Yes.
It's I mean, there's a staff of 8 billion or whatever, and there's 28 billion people on board and so forth. I get it, but I've never been, and I've seen that they jet ski or they do everything off these boats. But I like your 20-minute description. That sounded nice. It was moving. You had the wind. You felt like you were on water, and there was, Moby Dick and all that stuff. So how
Right,
cool.
exactly. That was exactly what it was. But other than that, it's your typical cruise. But what was interesting about this one is that, and we were all in agreement on this, because they have pools and they have hot tubs and stuff like that. And you think about, we'll get in the pool, we'll sit in the hot tub, it'll be fun. But every time we walked by the hot tub and saw the humanity in there, we were like, not this one.
We're like, we have a hot tub at home. I think
Yeah.
we'll just wait till we get home.
Actually, there was a lot of things we were going, you know what? We have all of this and better at home.
Right, I know, I get that, especially with water things, man. I can remember when I was a kid, loved it, and then all of a sudden there's a line of demarcation when you go to whatever Wet and Wild or one of these places, and you go, this is just a cesspool. This is not. There's a half a hot dog on the deck, just here that's been bitten, and you're barefoot, and you go, I really should have flip flops. When you say you should have flip flops on all the time, it's either my off-campus house in college or like a water park. Water parks are a little, so I get the vibe when you go, lots of people. When it's too foamy, like when there's 30,000 feet of bubbles on top.
No,
of
there was not that.
It wasn't that. It was just.
It was
a lot of people, and it was just like human soup. It just didn't
did not
quite
feel right. Yeah.
It was like, I'm not going to try to make room in that.
We did the slides, which were great.
The slides were awesome.
They were really fun, and
those were really
and the
fun.
water on the ship was great. And by the way, the water right now here in the pool is
bath water.
perfect. It's not. It's not. Don't worry. It's not warm. It's just super. Wouldn't you say? It's not
comfortable.
Yeah, because bath water would suggest
You'll
he wouldn't
love
like.
it.
He wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like bath water.
I'll go in, I'll swim, I'll have
It's
fun.
refreshing.
Yeah, it's
Like-
really perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's hot out, because it's so hot outside. It, like, even though the water's, what I would say is warm, it's
Right.
refreshing. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, it's perfect. It's really,
All right.
outside is perfect today. It's like great.
So I'm not saying that we won't replace it, but the original toss and toss setup that we got, just sort of, the heat, and it
Died.
doesn't exist anymore. But what we do have, which
I thought the same thing.
you have the basketball net? I don't think you have the basketball net. You got the it looks like the skee ball. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah, there we go. Now, see, we might have a guest.
Well, Catherine. I just wanted her to
Catherine,
peek in and say hello to you.
Oh,
Come on, you're all ready
You
to
look
be seen.
gorgeous.
Just lean in and say hello.
No, he
No,
can't see you
can't.
there.
She's waving at your
Here,
picture
here,
over
here,
there.
here.
Oh, well, whatever. Look, don't
just
force the
swap.
child, okay?
She's not a child. She's a grown woman.
Okay.
I know that, but she's probably still
I'm having
traumatized.
children.
There she is.
Oh,
Yay!
is this so I can hear?
Yes,
Yeah.
so you can hear.
Yes. Hello, Miss Catherine.
Hello, Mr. Scott.
You look wonderful, kid.
Thank
There-
you. I'm going on a date with my husband because I'm a grown woman.
Well, I know that. I know that you are. You have children, for goodness sake, right?
Right.
You're a grown woman,
Yeah.
and you're probably helping your dad remember things when he was younger that he's forgotten now because he's getting old.
We're not doing that too much this time.
No, not this time. They felt so bad for you last time. Was the trip nice? I should be talking to Catherine. Was the trip nice? Did you have a nice trip?
Oh,
Out
yeah,
to
it was
see your
pretty. Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, the weather was my biggest concern. I think they've probably invested in about 20 different kinds of
Cooling
fan and
devices.
cooling devices for me. So it's been more than tolerable.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, it's wonderful to see you. By the way, the last time I saw you, we were at your grandfather's house, kind of rummaging through some of the things that were left
The
behind.
spoils of war, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go there. So yes,
And I
It's been a-
recognized you from your voice.
Well, that's right.
She heard you in another room.
No,
she
he walked,
was-
but
Oh,
he
that's
said
right.
like excuse. I wasn't paying attention to him, and he said like excuse me or something, and I was just like, Rob.
That's
cool.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we called you,
And-
and then Tracy got a great picture of you looking very surprised.
Legit shocked. It was awesome.
We
Yes.
used it for a meme contest. We got tons of people who wrote in.
Oh, that's right. It's
Oh
it's
man.
huge now. Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, she did recognize me from my voice. So how cool is that? I
don't
just thought that was well.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you.
Anyway,
for
how
being
long
a
are you going to be there, Kevin? How many days before you guys are
We
settling
leave on Monday.
up? Okay, all right. So some time, some good family time. It's like the Waltons there, I'm sure.
That's all at night. We go, good night, Catherine. Good night, Dad. Good night, Tracy. Everybody's falling asleep at random times throughout the day, so none of that's happening.
What's really cool is the guy with the harmonica that just plays in the stairwell.
That's right. I don't even know who he is, but he plays so
Right.
nice that we just let it happen.
He's a union musician.
Da-na-na-na-na. Is that right?
Right.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Wow, that just Padoma method
Will-
on that one.
But it was in there. You see,
It was in there, still in there.
So anyway, yeah, you guys are doing the Waltons kind of thing, which is very cool. So I hope you have a wonderful visit with your dad. How cool you even remember that he exists and you come out and visit the old guy.
Somebody has to.
Tracy
We
can't
gotta
always
come,
remember.
We gotta come visit Pops and Tracy. It's they're a big deal and to our little ones.
Yeah,
so,
we've been waiting for this forever to get those kids in that pool, and they love it.
the whole time, the whole week leading up, Cruz has been singing "Viva Las Vegas" for like a week. So he's very excited
Very
to be
cool.
here. All right,
Yes,
I'm gonna
very-
go out with my husband now.
All right, have a wonderful time.
All right. Bye.
Great time. Great to see you.
Cruz is.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I'm gonna go be
Granny.
granny
All right.
apparently.
Wow. Wow.
I know, isn't that weird?
It's so great.
Yeah.
I love it
It
so
is.
much.
Well, the best looking granny I've ever met, and I mean ever.
That's what I say.
Thank you.
All right.
I love you guys. Mwah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the women in my life. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it fun.
Yeah, that's until those boys came along. That's about all I had. Well, Max, yeah. All right, so wait, I got a dangling earphone somewhere.
Right. A participle.
That's right. 111 degrees here in Las Vegas.
Front door. Really? 111 right now?
Echo, what's the temperature? You didn't say a thing. Yeah, it's. I
Yeah.
looked at it before. It was like 112 when I went when I was setting the
So,
phone up on the thing.
I don't know if this is going to come through on the on the camera or what. I'm going to try to do my best to see if that can get into focus. Is that in focus? Probably not.
There you go. That's pretty good. So, all right, what are we looking at there?
That it would be me at 6 years of age.
I should
At
know
my-
these pictures.
At my folks. I don't think you got this one. This
No,
was
I
a
didn't.
poll. So look, it's 1967 at the top there. And I love that my parents dressed me like I was in a gulag, like I represented the Soviet Union. What is that? I don't know. But anyway, my sister sent these to me. She had a couple of these little square, they're just square.
Oh,
It's like
that's
a
no
perfect-
wrong button. No one wants to see that. All right, here we go. There you go.
Square picture, and they're what
yeah.
is that, 8 inches by 4 inches, whatever these. And she sent me, if she was going through stuff, apparently Pamela will be moving. They have a target date now. Not a target date necessarily, but an idea. They will be selling this monstrosity house that they have. because since you were there.
Yeah, right. I thought this was another one that I never saw this one.
No, and it's monstrously large, which is, I mean, Pamela, you lost some children and you moved to a bigger home from a place that was paid for and was perfectly remodeled and gorgeous. And
yeah.
Anyway, now they have this monstrosity that they've been working on. And I said, that's what it is. You just like working on homes. That's why you did this, because there's no logical reason. Anyway, they're getting and they're going to go up to St. Paula. That's where they're going to retire.
Really?
And as yes, because she wants to be on a college town, and there's a bunch of universities in St. Paul. She likes the climate and being around a campus. And so she was going up and found the picture of when I served in Lenin's army here when I was 16.
We tried to keep that under wraps.
Yeah. So here's something I was thinking about the other day, and for those of consuming the lounge who know all the background between Bob and Ivy, but I was thinking about Bite Me Night.
Yes.
I did a Bite Me Night the other day. I still do them from time to time, which Bob and I would gather, and on occasion we would do Bite Me Night, which was pretty much crappy food, right? I mean,
just like pizza bites and, whatever. Just little appetizer-y things that just weren't at all good for you, yes.
Right, cheese sticks, and that would be the whole night. We would buy a bunch of frozen crap, literally crap, and just eat it all night and drink beer and so forth. But then I thought about the overall visits. And one of the things I found fascinating, speaking of Catherine being there, how great, is that when we would do this journey to go across town and hang with the other one, when we would get there, usually there would be dinner, and we would sit, either you with my family or I with yours, and have a family meal before Bob and I would then retire to just the two of us area. Usually a pool table where we'd have an office or a computer or a microphone, and the latter days at your palatial estate there, we would have a swimming pool. And it was just like Uncle Bob or Uncle Rob. We were at each other's homes inordinate amount of time.
And it was a hefty drive too.
Yeah, it was 50 plus miles one way.
So you had to get on the freaking perimeter.
Yeah, you did. And you had to do 80. And then when you would get to the other guy's house, whoever's house was hosting, that guy drove to the store because the other dude just did 55 miles. And he was, okay, I'm done. You're driving to the store. And then we would go buy beer and food and everything. And on occasion, Bite Me Night. And we would get sliders, White Castle sliders and pizzas. But any other time without Bite Me Night, we would still sit to each other's family dinner on that Friday or Saturday evening, which...
Yeah, it was like a cookout most of the time, or some version of that, I think. Normally, when it was out at my place, we would cook out. And in your place, too, it's normally a grill situation. Because my memories are cooking out chicken or whatever on the back of your grill, and then coming in, the kids are sitting there, and then, it pretty much plays out just like you said.
And eventually, whoever the respective wife and children would adjourn, and you and I would go downstairs at either home, and then... But I was thinking about... But we did dinner. And this was, what do you think? Once a month we would do one of these?
I don't know, Rob. That was so many brains ago.
It is. That is true. So I scribbled it. And also, here's another thing I scribbled down. My sister Kimberly sent me a bread bowl, but not the kind you think of it like Panera Bread, where they carve out a round thing and put soup in it. This is a bowl you bake bread in. And there was some guy running a kiln or something, some pottery barn in North Carolina, and I make it's real. It says bread, but I would call it more of a coffee cake. There's a lot of sugar and a lot of butter. But see Bob nodding that brain. I love it. That's my new jam because I have never baked. You've done way more baking. You would make those molten cakes and.
Well, I did not.
Yeah, something with coffee in it or something. It was chocolate. Didn't you make some chocolate cake? I know you made ice cream.
Oh, the Kahlua cake. Yes. Many Kahlua cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, it's been a long time since I did that. I forgot about... How could I have forgotten about Kahlua cakes? Amber's doing all the baking around here now.
Well, see?
Which is great.
And I never did any baking. This is my first jump into the world of baking. It's kind of fun. House smells good.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun thing. This is not related at all, but if I forget to tell you, it's goofy because it's like a bucket list item of mine is happening.
Really?
Yes. And so one of my bucket list items was to basically, for somebody, put on a mocap suit, do a voice character, and, do that for a project, right?
Okay.
And 2 years ago,
That's motion capture.
motion capture, yeah. So you think about what's his name, the guy who does Gollum. I should know this. This Sarkis. I'm going to get it wrong. Circus. Anyway, but yeah, I've always wanted to do that because I've done it in VR a little bit, with trackers, and I do all those characters. But to do it next level, where you're tracking all the expressions on your face, they're doing all the stuff. And so this guy did a voiceover job a couple of years ago who lives in Vegas. That's what he does. And so I've been watching his, I see his YouTube channel and the work he's doing. I'm going. And I've told him right from the beginning, I said, I would love to learn how to do this. Can we, get together? I'd love to, And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, man. It's just 2 years this has been going. But he finally reached out and has a project that he wants me to do where I do the whole acting thing, the physical and all of it. So that I'm super excited about. We keep jumping the date around because it's not his full-time job, and he does National Guard stuff, so weekends are unpredictable. So it's going to be the 12th, and then it was going to be the 6th, and now it's going to be the 20th. But I'm going to do this, and it's a whole thing about, I'm choosing. Well, he's giving me a poem, "Oh Captain, My Captain,"
Oh, wow.
but that I only knew of.
That's Walt Whitman, isn't it?
Yes, it's Walt Whitman, and of course the whole centerpiece around that Dead Poets Society.
Yeah. Seize the day.
So I don't really know the poem, but I looked at it and I said, okay. And so I'm like, because he's heard my voice, he knows I can do the voice part. And now it's like, and I just have it in my head that I'll just go in there and just be able to do this, even though I have literally zero physical acting experience. I'm going to have, and I have a weird body. My movement is weird. When I watch myself on stage, I just have a weird gait. Everything about how I stand, it's really weird. So it'll be interesting to see, because now I absolutely have to consciously change that to be, because that's not what they're looking for. The idea is, because I'll do this read and I'll do this acting, and then he can put any avatar, any situation. His point is these soliloquies and these poems, they're timeless, and they can be multidimensional. So it could be a warrior on a battlefield. It could be, whatever. And so that's the idea. So I go in there and do this read, and then he'll choose avatars or something like that to make a point.
Have you the copy? Are you off book?
Yeah, I will. The way I'm probably going to, although now that I have enough time, I might try to memorize it. It's not that long. But normally what I do in a thing like that, especially if it was going to be in the week, is, and I used to do this before I had a teleprompter, was I would read it how I wanted it performed, and then I'd have headphones like this or something where I could read. It would be reading and I'd be echoing it. I would just echo it as it was read. And that's what I was going to do with this. Just get my read exactly how I want it.
And they did that for Marlon Brando, by the way. Did you know that? In The Godfather. Not a joke. I'm not making this up. He couldn't remember his lines. Yeah, he couldn't remember them. And they had an insurance policy because they thought he'd be an F-up. They thought he was going to goof up. So they had this big insurance policy in case the whole production came, crumbling down. And one of the things is he had to have an earpiece because he couldn't remember his lines. And Robert Duvall. Yeah, but so don't worry. You're not alone. You're in the same.
Oh, no. I'm not worried. It's just a technique. My dad told me about it. He used to do it. And so, I've done it. I did it for years. And now, but then I got a teleprompter. I didn't have to do it, but now I'll probably do it for this unless I just take on memorizing it. It's easy to memorize when you understand the story behind it, what it's doing. Then it makes logical sense. But anyway, so that's a very exciting thing, and I'm hoping then that I will have many more projects with him, and then I can make maybe I can trade services, and then I can create a demo reel. Because honestly, this is freelance work I would love to do. To be I don't need to get to Hollywood and compete with those people. But to do just any scale of mocap acting, maybe find some other creatives and we create a project from scratch where we're not looking for someone's permission to do a job, but let's create this thing. That's kind of been my vision. And then of course I want to get the equipment myself and set up shop here. And be able to,
like $50-$60, something like that, and you can get that stuff maybe a little less.
Yeah, that's right. It's really not as expensive as it used to be. It depends on the technology you use. If you're using Hollywood type stuff, now we're talking $25,000-$50,000 and up. But the kind of suits that we're talking about here are generally less than $5,000 for the whole setup. And they use
how about computing power? How much don't you have to have a lot to render?
It's really not. No, it's not that taxing. It's not that. It's all done by Wi-Fi, and it's just little. When you think about it, it's just little tiny pieces of data. It's over here. It's over here. It's just coordinates being sent, So it's not really that much. The files themselves, the movement files, are teeny tiny. So,
teeny tiny.
teeny. That's the technical whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking. You're going to share it on the show, right? I mean, the lounge when
I finally get it done, of course I am, and I hope to do many more things. So.
Because it'll be much more engaging than the picture of me when I was in Lenin's army at 6 years of age.
And with those words, those were the words they chose. I kid you not. Those were the words. So when those words came out, they decided that's when they were going to end the show. They could have done, I don't know, countless other things, but they chose that sequence of words to end it. And this is how we're left with the show. I don't get it. I don't think I can watch anymore.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
Rum raisin. Woof!